Hello again, High Hrothgar, or High Hrothgar. I have a habit of saying this wrong, but... jeez. I can't imagine how cold a place like this would actually be. Not to mention how little, the inside of this monastery? I kind of want to call it a monastery. The inside of this place can't be all that much more warm than the outside. The only thing that I think it would really stop is the wind. No actual heat up at the top. Right. Wolfgar. Arngir? Hey.
Sky above, voice within. Your training proceeds well, Dragonborn.
It does, Arngir. But listen, I visit you once more because I need to learn a shout that can defeat Alduin. Do you know of such a thing?
Where did you learn of that? Who have you been talking to?
It was recorded on Alduin's wall.
The Blades, of course. They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes?
Arngir, the Blades wish for Alduin to be dead, just as I do. He's out there tearing apart Skyrim, resurrecting dragons. Are you telling me you don't want the World Eater dealt with?
What I want is irrelevant. This shout was used once before, was it not? And here we are again. Have you considered that Alduin was not meant to be defeated? Those who overthrew him in ancient times only postponed the day of reckoning. They did not stop it. If the world is meant to end, so be it. Let it end and be reborn.
Even though it was just postponed, Arngir, it's been more than 1,000 years. That's a lot of time to buy. And I intend to finish what they began. Are you saying you won't help me in this?
No, not now. Not until you return to the path of wisdom.
Rok lostovakin strundul rockventinvak Paarthurnax.
Jeez, that's one powerful voice.
Dragonborn, wait. Forgive me, I was intemperate. I allowed my emotions to cloud my judgment. Master Einarth reminded me of my duty. The decision whether or not to help you is not mine to make.
So you will teach me the shout?
No, I cannot teach it to you because I do not know it. It is called Dragonrend, but its words of power are unknown to us. We do not regret this loss. Dragonrend holds no place within the way of the voice.
If the shout is lost, who can teach it to me? How can I defeat Alduin?
Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses.
Paarthurnax? Who is he?
He is our leader. He surpasses us all in his mastery of the way of the voice.
If there's another of your order, how come I haven't met him yet? I find it unlikely that another one of you could hide in this simple hall so well.
He lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege.
And I assume that the path to the summit is much more treacherous than the path to High Hrothgar.
Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax. I will grant you my understanding of clear skies. This is your final gift from us, Dragonborn. Use it well.
All right. Not an altogether comfortable sensation here.
Clear skies will blow away the mist, but only for a time. The path to Paarthurnax is perilous, not to be embarked upon lightly. Keep moving, stay focused on your goal, and you will reach the summit.
Alright, I think that may have been the last one. It doesn't look like I can get too much further. The throat of the world. Well, isn't this just peachy? Of all the... Wait a minute.
Dremyolok, greetings, Wundernik. I am Paarthurnax. Who are you? What brings you to my Strunmach, my mountain?
Of course. The master of the way of the voice. It makes sense you would be a dragon. Which means you undoubtedly already know who I am.
Yes, Vaza. You speak true, Dovahkiin. Forgive me. It has been long since I held Tinvak with a stranger. I gave in to the temptation to prolong our speech.
If you enjoy conversation, then why live in seclusion on top of this mountain? Why not spend more time discussing things with the Greybeards below?
Evenar Balok, there are many hungers it is better to deny than to feed. Drechni Nakib, discipline against the lesser, aids in Kachnar, denial of the greater. Tell me, why do you come here, Volan? Why do you intrude on my meditation?
Alduin the World Eater has returned. He is resurrecting dragons, and they are wreaking havoc upon Skyrim. I come searching for the Dragon Wren shout so I may defeat him. Can you teach it to me?
Drem, patience. There are formalities which must be observed at the first meeting of two of the Dove.
Oh?
By long tradition, the Elder speaks first. Hear my Thum. Feel it in your bones. Match it if you are Dovahkiin. I have spoken. The Rotmulag waits.
Alright. Never understand how I end up understanding these.
A gift, Dovahkiin. You'll understand fire as the Dove do.
Ooh! Oh, God, this always feels so weird. This time it's from a dragon.
Now, show me what you can do. Greet me not as mortal, but as Dova.
Alright then. Let's just go ahead and equip this. Shouts. Fire breath.
Do not be afraid. Ah, yes. Sosedo Vlostmul. The dragon blood runs strong in you. It is long since I had the pleasure of speech with one of my own kind.
Is it really all that impressive? Oh, hey, wait a minute, where are you going? Oh.
So, you have made your way here to me. No easy task for a Jor, mortal. Even for one of Dovasos, dragon blood. What would you ask of me?
Again. I seek the Dragon Wren shout. Can you teach it to me?
Ah, I have expected you, Proda. You would not come all this way for Tinvak with an old Dova. No, you seek your weapon against Alduin.
Yes. A weapon which the Greybeards do not have. and they are so fearful of it that they did not want me to come see you at all.
Yes, they are very protective of me, Bachlan Fadon. But I do not know the Thum you seek, Croesus. It cannot be known to me. Your kind, Jor, mortals, created it as a weapon against the Dove, the dragons. Our Hadrime, our minds, cannot even comprehend its concepts.
If you can't teach me the shout, then how can I learn it? Where is it written?
Drem, all in good time. First, a question for you. Why do you want to learn this Thum?
As his namesake says, Alduin is the World Eater. All of Skyrim, all of Tamriel, possibly all of Nirn is threatened by him. I do not wish this world to end, and so I seek to protect it by destroying Alduin.
Prusa, as good a reason as any. There are many who feel as you do, although not all. Some would say that all things must end, so that the next can come to pass. Perhaps this world is simply the egg of the next Kalpa, Lin Vokin. Would you stop the next world from being born?
I know not of the next world. I live in this one. Skyrim is my home. I've only known the lands of Tamriel. The next world, if it is ever to be reborn, is not my concern, for I do not live there. I live here.
Paz, a fair answer. Rofus, maybe you only balance the forces that work to quicken the end of this world. Even we who ride the currents of time cannot see past time's end. Wulsetid los trahodis. Those who try to hasten the end may delay it. Those who work to delay the end may bring it closer. But you have indulged my weakness for speech long enough. Croesus, now I will answer your question. Do you know why I live here, at the peak of the Monaven, what you name Throat of the World?
Paarthurnax, not even an hour ago I didn't know you existed, much less that you would be a dragon. I haven't had time to even consider such thoughts.
This is the most sacred mountain in Skyrim, Zokravak Struma, the great mountain of the world. Here, the ancient tongues, the first mortal masters of the voice, brought Alduin to battle and defeated him.
And they were the ones who used the Dragon Wren shout. They were the ones who defeated him. Correct?
Yes and no. Viknuzny Karon. Alduin was not truly defeated either. If he was, you would not be here today seeking to defeat him. The Nords of those days used the Dragon Rend shout to cripple Alduin, but this was not enough. Ok Mulag Unslad. It was the Kell, the Elder Scroll. They used it to cast him adrift on the currents of time.
An Elder Scroll. I've heard of them before, but I know little of what exactly they are.
How to explain in your tongue? The Dove have words for such things that Jor do not. It is an artifact from outside time. It does not exist, but it has always existed. Rahwalan. They are fragments of creation. The Kele, Elder Scrolls as you name them, they have often been used for prophecy. Yes, your prophecy comes from an Elder Scroll. But this is only a small part of their power. Zofa Suyek.
Are you saying that the ancient Nords, in their efforts to destroy Alduin, used an Elder Scroll and cast him forward through the current of time? And he has only reappeared now?
Not intentionally. Some hoped he would be gone forever, forever lost. Meye. I knew better. Tidbo Amativ. Time flows ever onward. One day, he would surface. Which is why I have lived here. For thousands of mortal years, I have waited. I knew where he would emerge, but not when.
As surprising and interesting as all this is, Paarthurnax, how does any of this help me? How does knowing that Alduin was cast through time aid me in any way? I still need the shout which you do not understand to defeat him.
Tid Krent. Time was shattered here because of what the ancient Nords did to Alduin. If you brought that Kel, that Elder Scroll, back here to the Tid Ahran, the Time Wound, with the Elder Scroll that was used to break time, you may be able to cast yourself back to the other end of the break. You could learn Dragonrend from those who created it.
And do you know where I might find this Elder Scroll?
Croesus, no. I know little of what has passed below in the long years I have lived here. You are likely better informed than I.
Perhaps I'll find something at the College of Winterhold.
Trust your instincts, Dovahkiin. Your blood will show you the way.
But how could an Elder Scroll cast Alduin through time? You said it had other powers, but it's primarily used for prophecy. What other powers does it hold?
Vomendok, I do not know. Perhaps in the very doing, they erased the knowing of it from time itself. The Dove are children of Akatosh. Thus, we are specially attuned to the flow of time, perhaps also uniquely vulnerable. I warned them against such a rash action. Even I could not foresee its consequences. Nust Lihon, they would not listen.
Are you saying you were there the day that they did this?
Yes. There were a few of us that rebelled against Alduin Stur, his tyranny. We aided the humans in his overthrow. But they did not trust us, ni Ov. Their inner counsels were kept hidden from us. I was far from here on the day of Alduin's downfall, But all Dove felt the sundering of time itself.
And what of the Dragon Wrench shout? What exactly is it? Why can you not learn it? What does it do?
I cannot tell you in detail. I never heard it used. Kogan. It was the first Thum created solely by mortals. It was said to force a dragon to experience the concept of mortality. A truly von Mindoran. Incomprehensible idea to the immortal Dove.
A shout that makes dragons feel mortal. I can't imagine. And once I retrieve the Elder Scroll, what am I to do with it?
Return it here to the Tid Achran. Then, Kele Vomindok. Nothing is certain with such things. But I believe the scroll's bond with the Tid Achran will allow you a seeing, a vision of the moment of its creation. Then you will feel, know Dragonrend in the power of its first expression. You will see them, Wuthfadon, my friends, Haken, Gormlaith, Feldir.
Haken, Gormlaith, Feldir. Who are they?
The first mortals that I taught the Thum, the first tongues, the leaders of the rebellion against Alduin. They were mighty in their day, even to attempt to defeat Alduin. Sahrot Hun. The Nords have had many heroes since, but none greater.
I see. Before I go, Paarthurnax, I must ask. As the master of the Greybeards, as the source of the Way of the Voice, how often do others come here to train with you?
I have taught the Way of the Voice for centuries, and the Thum since long before that. But no, Dovahkiin. Others do not come here to train anymore. Saran, you are the first in over 100 years. I meditate on the Rotmulag, the words of power. I counsel in their use. It is enough for me.
You meditate on the words. How?
Knowing a word of power is to take its meaning into yourself. Contemplate the meaning of a Rotmulag. You will become closer to that word as it fills your inner self. Will I teach you, Dovahkiin? What word calls you to deeper understanding? There are 3 to master. Fus, Faim, and Yol.
Teach me of Fus.
It is called force in your tongue. But as you push the world, so does the world push back. Think of the way force may be applied effortlessly. Imagine but a whisper pushing aside all in its path. That is Fus. Let its meaning fill you. Sum Ark Mora. You will push the world harder than it pushes back.
Thank you, Paarthurnax. My discussion with you has been very enlightening. When you see me again, I will have the Elder Scroll, which created the Time Wound. Until then, farewell.
Lok Thum.
Here we go. Arngeir.
So, you spoke to Paarthurnax. The dragon blood burns bright within you. Did he tell you what you wanted to know? Did he teach you the Dragonrend shout?
No. Sadly, it is not a shout that Paarthurnax knows. He did, however, tell me how I might learn it.
Well, so be it. If he believes it is necessary for you to learn this, we will bow to his wisdom.
And if I hope to understand it, I need the Elder Scroll that the Ancients used to initially defeat Alduin. You wouldn't happen to know where that would be, would you?
We have never concerned ourselves with the scrolls. The gods themselves would rightly fear to tamper with such things. As for where to find it, such blasphemies have always been the stock and trade of the mages of Winterhold. They may be able to tell you something about the Elder Scroll you seek.
I suspected as much. Before I set out again, Arngir, I feel I should ask, what's wrong with the Dragonrend shout? Why do you hate it so much? Why do you fear it?
It was created by those who had lived under the unimaginable cruelty of Alduin's dragon cult. Their whole lives were consumed with hatred for dragons, and they poured all their anger and hatred into this shout. When you learn a shout, you take it into your very being. In a sense, you become the shout. In order to learn and use this shout, you will be taking this evil into yourself.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Makes sense now. But what about the Blades? What do you have against them?
The Blades were born of dragon-hating crusaders. They still carry that legacy, although they may not remember from whence it came. They carried out a genocide of dragons when they first came to Tamriel. And now, they will do it again. With your help.
And if this bothers you so, can you imagine another way to defeat Alduin?
Perhaps not. But this shout was used once before, was it not? And here we are again. Have you considered that Alduin was not meant to be defeated? Those who overthrew him in ancient times only postponed the day of reckoning. They did not stop it. If the world is meant to end, so be it. Let it end and be reborn.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you, Arngir. The world needs heroes to protect it. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wind, guide you.
You as well, Arngir. Alright, I'm out of this place. I think I'm probably gonna head to Whiterun next. The more worldly problems that need to be solved, like that of Maven Blackbriar and the Thieves Guild. I think I've spent enough time with old men who shout into the sky.